The old saying goes, it's not how you start, it's how you finish. But an early season doubleheader between two teams at the top of a division can be looked back upon at season's end with either regret or relief. The Bethesda Big Train have been the gold standard of the Cal Ripken League, winning back-to-back league titles in 2023 and 2024. But this year, a new challenger has entered the ring. The Silver Spring-Takoma Thunderbolts spent all of last year in the cellar, finishing 2024 in last place with a 12-24 record. However, this year, they have shown they are not to be taken lightly. The Thunderbolts sit at 6-3 through 9 games, storming to the top of the North Division, and the Big Train have drawn even with them, also at 6-3. These two teams have started their 2025 campaigns excelling in opposite areas of the game. The Big Train have had by far the hottest bats in the Ripken League, producing just over 10 runs a game, while the Thunderbolts have prevented runs from crossing better than anyone in the league. They have just a 2.6 team ERA. The unstoppable force meets the immovable object today on the Big Train Baseball Network. We welcome you inside the broadcast booth. My name is Quincy Bell. Alongside me is Jackson Corcoran. Jackson, we will play 2 7-inning games today, and the scoreboard out in left center field reads 95 degrees.
Yeah, it's a scorcher out there today. It's going to be really tough on the pitchers especially. I mean, when you're out there alone on that mound, the sun just beats down on you even harder than it already is for everybody else on the diamond. So good thing that the Big Train have a couple of born and bred Southern boys on the mound today used to the heat like this.
Cole Ketchum will be getting the start in the second game. He's out of Ole Miss. Getting the start in the first game out of the University of Alabama will be Connor Lehman. He will work against Josh Zuckerman. We mentioned Silver Spring, one of the best pitching teams in the league, only a 2.6 ERA. I'm sure they're glad these games are only 7 innings and not 9 innings, because I feel like the shorter games might help the pitching side, but with it being as hot as it is today, might favor the better hitting Big Train.
Yeah, when it's hot out, ball just flies farther, and it's hot and sweaty out there on the mound. It's a difficult task.
We mentioned how the Big Train have the best hitting team in the Cal Ripken League. They are first in strikeouts. They strike out the least amount, only 63 on the year. They're first in average, 290. First in runs scored with 91. That's good for 10.1 runs per game. 19 doubles, that ranks second. Only 1 triple, that's tied for third. They have 4 team home runs, that's good for third. 69 walks, that's good for third in the league. 31 stolen bases, that's good for third. 440 on base percentage, that's the best in the league. 395 slugging, the best in the league. And an 835 team OPS, also best in the league.
And the pitching has been getting hot as of late. I mean, these last few contests for Big Train hurlers have been impressive, allowing 10 or more runs in 3 of the first 4 contests. But since then, in the last 3, they've allowed just 8 runs on 17 hits, striking out 39 over those 27 innings.
And hitting for the Thunderbolts has been a bit of an issue. They are not top 3 in any hitting stats. They're actually sitting in the bottom half of the league in most hitting stats. But when you're allowing just over 2 runs a game, it doesn't really matter how well you're hitting.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, pitching's the key. It's what wins championships, and that's why Silver Spring's first in the league so far, in the division rather, because they've shoved in the mound, and crucially, they've allowed just 41 walks, best in the league. They've kept the ball in the zone like few others in the circuit have, and that's kept them in ball games and won them plenty.
These 2 teams met in the third game of the year in Silver Spring, a game the Big Train won 3-1, but Silver Spring did not walk a single Big Train hitter in that game. We'll give you today's starting lineups. First, the visiting Thunderbolts. It will be Josh Erd, followed by Aiden Driscoll, Steve Thomas, Jack McCarthy, Braden Foster, Griffith Puvel, Gabe Ruiz, Bryce Curry, and Matthew Kim. The defense for the Big Train in the outfield, it will be Ott, Peltier, Skoronsky. In the infield from third to first will be Panette, Martinez, Wright, and Gonzalez, with Dylan Murphy doing the catching today. With as hot of a day as it is right now, there will be some switching going on in between games, I'd imagine. Jacob Hawk will get the catching duties for the second game. But should be a great set of 2 games today. If either one of these teams can sweep this doubleheader, they will have a commanding 2-game lead on the division. A split, obviously, they would stay tied at the top.
I mean, it's been over 15 years since the Thunderbolts won a divisional or league title, and so they're on the hunt as a program. Obviously, the Big Train have picked up more than their share of league crowns. They'd like to get a jump start on doing it once again in 2025, winning one or both of these games today.
Connor Lehman will be the starter. The left-hander out of the University of Alabama has some great stuff. Fastball gets into the mid-90s, but control has been a bit of an issue for him so far this year. We'll see how he attacks the zone today. First pitch to the leadoff man, Josh Erd, is fouled away, and we're underway from Shirley Povich Field.
We've talked time and again about the approach of many teams against Big Train pitching has been swing, swing, and swing some more. First pitch attacking, Erd does it here.
He takes upstairs from Lehman. Count is even at 1-1.
The Alabama product, he throws the ball hard. He just has to find the edges of the zone.
Erd punches one foul down the line. Josh Erd is a sophomore infielder from right here in Rockville, Maryland. He comes out of Frederick Community College. He's hitting .286 in 5 games played so far in 2025. 1-2 from Connor Lehman. Runs inside and almost hits Erd in the knee. But he's able to shuffle out of the way, and the count will be 2-2.
Yeah, but Lehman's been an uncomfortable at-bat for Josh Erd so far, running in a couple fastballs in on the hands. You see both swings Erd has taken. He's been an hour and a half late.
2-2 from Lehman. Upstairs and the count runs full. Erd is a disciplined hitter. He has drawn 3 walks this year to only 1 strikeout. Lehman into the windup for the payoff. Fouled straight back, and Murphy couldn't quite hold on to it behind the plate. So Lehman will deliver another payoff. 3-2 again, popped up in the air. Wright and Martinez coming in on it. It will be the first baseman Martinez making the catch for the first out.
Lehman just pumping fastballs in that at-bat against Erd, but going in on the hands time and time again, which to a righty, seeing that from the big lefty just boring in on you, it's tough to deal with. And you saw Erd get jammed 3 times. 2 of them he fouled off. That one stays in play for an easy grab.
That'll bring Aiden Driscoll to the plate for a lefty-lefty matchup against Connor Lehman. First pitch is a big slider that just misses low.
That's a really nice pitch, and it's going to be crucial for Lehman to have today. In the first outing where he struggled, he just couldn't find the breaking ball. If he can get it dialed in for today, it'll bode very well.
Fastball misses high and away. 2-0 on Driscoll. Driscoll, teammates with Jacob Hawk at the University of Maryland. Both of them are catchers. Driscoll's in his sophomore campaign. Currently hitting .350 in 7 games for the Thunderbolts and .850 OPS. 2-1 from Lehman is a fastball that just misses high.
He's had 2 pitches in this at-bat, the first one and that last one that very well could have been called strikes.
3-1 from Lehman. Chopped slowly on the ground towards short. Panette thought about coming in on it, but it's the shortstop Martinez who gets it as it comes through, and he makes a strong throw to first for the second out.
John Martinez, he's had a busy day. I saw him, worked with him a little bit at the Giant Foods in Cabin John collecting donations for Mana Food Center. He did a great job at inspiring people to donate canned goods. And now he does a great job at coming in on that ball, seeing it through the bit of a screen by his teammate Panette, and delivering a throw on the money.
There were 8 different locations that the Big Train were at for the food drive. And we'll talk more about that later in the broadcast. But for the moment, Steve Thomas will step to the plate, a senior outfielder out of the Catholic University of America. He's 4 for 16 so far in 6 games played, and he's quickly behind at the count 0-2 against Connor Lehman.
Every fastball that Lehman's thrown has been harder than the last. He's rounding into this game as he gets farther into this inning, looking sharp.
0-2 looking to set down the side in order. Fouled straight back by Thomas. Fastball ramping up near the mid-90s.
I think the best sign you can see for Lehman is when that dynamite stuff is getting the ugly-looking swings that it should. That's just a pure tomahawk from Steve Thomas trying to stay alive. He does a good job to get another pitch in the at-bat, but it's not a good swing.
Lehman into the windup, 0-2. Slider just misses down and in.
Another good breaking pitch from Lehman. Both the ones he's thrown have been in that same spot, just a little to the glove side, but in a good area to draw swings.
Grounded over to third. Panette is up with it. Strong throw across the diamond, just in time to get Thomas. 1-2-3 go the Thunderbolts. Big Train will look to strike first in this 7-inning affair. Next.
much.
Bottom of the first set to start here from Shirley Povich Field. The Bethesda Big Train will work against Josh Zuckerman, a right-handed junior out of Emory University in Atlanta, Georgia. His hometown is Boyd's, Maryland. He is 1-0 so far this year with a 2.25 ERA in 2 games. He's thrown 8 innings, has struck out 8 hitters, only allowed 4 walks. He has a 1.13 whip and a 1.85 batting average against Jackson. He's been strong to start this year.
Yeah, he really has, but he's got to face a tough Big Train lineup. But he's been a symptom, not the cause of the great Silver Spring pitching. One of many Thunderbolts pitchers that's having a really strong start.
The ECU Pirate Alex Peltier will lead it off. He takes a fastball on the inner half for strike 1.
And boy, this kid has done nothing but hit since showing up. 387 is the batting average. That's 3rd in the Cal Ripken League.
0-1. Swinging a foul straight back, and Zuckerman has the velocity to match his counterpart, Connor Lehman, on the mound. That last fastball came in at 94 miles an hour.
Yeah, there's a lot of talent. Emory, D3 school, but very good at baseball, among the national contenders year in, year out.
Zuckerman set 0-2 to Peltier. Swinging a line drive over into shallow right. It'll get down just inside the line. And Peltier with a leadoff single. He has to scurry back to first base. He had a pretty wide turn there, but no harm, no foul. And Brennan Wright will step to the plate with a runner on.
And that's exactly what Sal Colangelo wants. He uses Brennan Wright as a good old-fashioned 2-hitter. His job is to get Alex Peltier into scoring position by a bunt, by a ground out, by taking until Peltier is able to steal. He just wants Wright to be able to move runners around the base paths. And Wright, a guy who does not strike out often, does it well.
There goes Peltier on the first pitch, and he picked a good one to go on. Zuckerman delivers a changeup down and in. So Peltier with a stolen base, and he leads the Big Train roster in stolen bases. He's been absolutely flying this year. Had 2 stolen bases against the Crop Dusters 2 games ago. He's now in scoring position for Wright, who takes just downstairs for a ball. Count is 2-0. And Jackson, with runs being at even more of a premium against Silver Spring, is this the prime spot to lay down a bunt?
I mean, the 2-0 count, it's advantage Wright. Now 3-0. I mean, just take until you get something you like, because Wright's not just a bunt merchant. We've seen that he's a very solid hitter, just below 300 on the year. Has 3 multi-hit games.
Yeah, definitely not squaring to bunt with a 3-0 count. He'll square and fake the bunt. 3-0, a lot of hitters like to do that to try to induce a ball being thrown. But you could see him kind of waving the bat up and down. That was not a serious square.
Yeah, just trying to draw the eye of the pitcher, throw off the mechanics ever so slightly, and get a free ball for.
Count is now 3-1. Zuckerman looking back. Peltier at second. Now comes to the plate, and Wright fouls one down the third base line.
And if you look out at Peltier at second base, yes, he's fast, but the little things he does when running the bases so important. Zuckerman's checking back all the time. The main job of a pitcher when looking over at second is to stop the runner's feet, and Peltier's feet never stop. He's always moving, always shuffling towards third base.
Wright takes upstairs, and the Big Train have the first 2 runners on to lead off the bottom half of the first.
And Zuckerman, who you mentioned, has been having a very good year so far. Now in trouble. He's rarely seen against John Martinez, who's displayed an above-average bat so far this year.
Martinez is a guy that I'm sure the Big Train like to have back. He missed 2 games in the middle of the year after getting hit by a pitch in the knee. But he is back, and now he squares to bunt but pulls it back. And that, I think, might be a serious square.
Yeah, Sal Colangelo's ethos is playing baseball the old-fashioned way, getting guys into scoring position, getting guys moving around the base paths, creating chaos. He likes to bunt more than a lot of teams in the league do.
Martinez shows bunt again, pulls it back again. This time, a called strike. You got 2 quick guys on the base with Wright and Peltier.
As a team, 4 sack bunts from the Big Train. Only one other team has more than 2.
1-1, no throw to the plate. It's a pickoff back to second, but Peltier in there with a head first slide.
And the speed of Peltier allows him to get an extra bit frisky out there at second. It looked like Zuckerman might have him dead to rights, but he's just so quick and scrambles back in, gets the uniform dirty.
And we've seen Peltier just take off for third as soon as they throw to second. He has the speed to do that. Martinez pops the bunt foul into the net. And now he'll have to swing away with 2 strikes.
Yeah, you really want him to get that bunt down. It's a fastball lower in the zone. Not the most difficult pitch to get down the third base line, but giving Martinez a chance to swing, never the worst thing in the world.
Peltier with another very big lead at second. Zuckerman will look him back and fake a throw.
Yeah, but I think there, Peltier knows that, and he's been told by his coaches that both fielders had vacated the second base bag, got in a couple extra steps, and then breezed back to the bag when Zuckerman gave him a look.
Martinez takes a fastball inside, and he's run the count even at 2-2. Yeah, but the 2 middle infielders, Matthew Kim at second base and Josh Erd at shortstop, have been dancing a little bit, trying to maybe catch Peltier off guard. Right now, Kim is planted firmly on second, but Peltier still with a large lead, 2-2. Fastball taken just high.
That is a big league take from John Martinez. I mean, so tough to lay off that pitch just off the zone to the glove side of Zuckerman, and he never even thought about it. No movement of the bat. I mean, great eye from the shortstop.
Payoff pitch, Peltier's off for third, swing and a miss, strike 3, but he does get the bag.
Yeah, you want Martinez putting it in play there, but puts in a good at-bat, and, I mean, the take allows the 3-2 pitch to come and allows Peltier to get a better jump with Zuckerman zeroing in on the plate.
I don't think you can be too disappointed in that result if you're Martinez. Yeah, you did strike out, but put up a battle. Already 14 pitches for Zuckerman to get just the first out. And Peltier is able to get up to third. We'll see if Wright goes for second. There he goes. The throw will come down and cut off by the second baseman, Kim. But Peltier not advancing off of third. So Wright has a stolen base. That's 3 in the inning so far.
That's another thing that speed on the base pass does for you. It opened up lanes elsewhere. That throw could have gotten right if just stays planted at short, slaps the tag down, but they have to be cognizant of Peltier at third, causing the cutoff.
Curveball catches at the knees for a second strike to the cleanup man, Logan Panette, who's been the Big Train's best hitter so far this year, OPSing over 1,000 and slugging over 600. He's down 0-2 against Zuckerman. He's able to foul a fastball straight back.
They say pitching today is north-south instead of east-west, and Zuckerman following that ethos. He's got a over-the-top delivery, likes the fastball at the top of the zone, and a big downward-breaking 12-6 curveball that he likes to play off the heater.
Runners on second and third with 1 out. 0-2 the count on Panette. Grounded over to third. Fielded by Curry. He will throw across to first. A nice scoop over there by Foster gets the out, but Peltier crosses from third, and the Big Train strike first. They lead at 1-0.
Productive outs have been such an important part of the Big Train offense. I mean, you got through the first couple of games. We talked about in the broadcast the frustration, the left on base throughout those games, and since then, I mean, it's been a completely different story. I mean, this team is just moving runners around and then productive outs, driving guys in, doing a job at the plate.
Peyton Steele will now step in. He takes a front hip slider on the black for strike 1. Steele off to a pretty strong start. 793 OPS for him. 700 is considered about average in pretty much all levels of baseball. Popped up down the first base line over near the Silver Spring broadcasters, and it hits off their tent.
Foster looked like he might have had a beat on that, but bounces off the big orange tent down the right field line, and another life for Peyton Steele.
We'd like to give the Silver Spring broadcasters good luck on their broadcast. They were very nice to us when we went to their place. 0-2 from Zuckerman. Is a slider taken beneath the zone. 1-2 on Steele. But already 21 pitches in the inning for Zuckerman. He needs one more to strike out Steele and get this game into the hands of his offense. Kick and the fire. Line drive into right field. This ball sinking and it's down. Wright gets a windmill at third. The throw will come into the plate. The play is not in time. Wright's in there with a slide. The Big Train lead at 2-0 off of a Peyton Steele RBI single.
Yeah, that's a hitter's swing right there from Steele. Sees a fastball low in the zone. Just gets enough of the barrel to it to pop the little dying quail into right and just put the ball in play. Good things happen. Got enough of it to drop it between Kim and Driscoll and make it 2-0.
You're one of the more you like to get out there with the broadcasting vocabulary more than most people I've broadcasted with. I don't think I've ever heard dying quail before.
Dying quail, just the the little bloop. It's up in the air and then the wings give out. The dying quail drops into the grass.
That is something else. Emilio Gonzalez will step in and look to keep the inning going. He's already behind in the count 0-1. He takes a fastball just outside for a ball.
Emilio Gonzalez had that superlative run before the gamut of rainouts. He's 0 for 6 over his last 2 games, but does have 3 RBI.
Pick off to Steele at first, and they caught him leaning. He's out. So a disappointing end to the inning with the Big Train push across 2 runs on 2 hits, no errors, 1 runner left on base as we head to the second. Big Train up 2-0. Connor Lehman back out on the mound for inning number 2. His offense gave him some run support in the first frame. The Big Train lead the Silver Spring-Takoma Thunderbolts 2-0 thanks to an RBI ground out from Logan Panett and an RBI single from Lehman's teammate at the University of Alabama, Peyton Steele. Got a single before getting picked off to end the inning. Lehman now will work to the middle of the Thunderbolt order, 4, 5, and 6. Jack McCarthy, today's catcher, will lead off. Or today's designated hitter will lead off. It'll be Steve Thomas who does the catching for Silver Spring today. Jack McCarthy, a sophomore catcher. He does catch, but on a hot day like today, he'll be DHing. Takes a 1-0 outside for a strike. McCarthy, a sophomore catcher out of Marymount University. His hometown is Burke, Virginia. He's hitting .250 so far in this young season. 3 hits and 12 at-bats in 3 games played.
He went 0 for 3 the last time these two teams met and threw what ended up being a crucial ball away into the outfield, allowing a run to score in a tight 3-1 ball game.
Yeah, in that game that these two played in Silver Spring, the Big Train won it 3-1, but 2 of those runs for Silver Spring that they allowed were unearned. 1-2 was fouled straight into the net.
For the most part, this Thunderbolts defense has been very solid. Just 11 errors on the year. That's tied with the Big Train for fewest in the league.
And the Big Train were far and away the best defensive team before their most recent game against the Crop Dusters, in which they made 4 errors. But still, even with that 4-error game, they're tied for first in fielding.
See Connor Lehman working quickly. He's finding his rhythm, now trying to set down McCarthy.
Chopped on the ground slowly to first. Gonzalez has it. He will flip to Lehman underhand, and it's in time for the out.
And that's what I'm most gratified to see out of Lehman so far today is weak contact galore. 4 balls in play, and all of them very softly hit. Again, just the fastball inside to the righties. He comes from a bit of a lower arm slot, so it really does come crossfire all the way in on your hands. It's really uncomfortable to deal with.
First pitch to Braden Foster is a check swing, appeal to first. No swing, says our first base umpire, Carl Ramelia. Lehman now set into the windup for the 1-0. Driven down the line and fair. Braden Foster with the Thunderbolts' first hit of the game, and he wants more. He's headed for second. The throw will be cut off, and not in time. Foster has a 1-out double.
There's the downside of trying to hammer in 2 righty batters as a lefty pitcher. That one hangs out a little more over the plate. Foster does a great job at just getting the bat head around quickly, pulling it down the line, hit that one hard. Amounts Jinx hadn't hit one hard yet, but Foster does there. Good piece of hitting from the first baseman.
That'll bring Griffith Pouvel up to the plate, the T-Bolts left fielder. Lehman's first pitch to him is just off the knob of the bat, I believe, for a strike. The umpire pointed at him. I think that got off his bat.
Yeah, I mean, Foster would be at third base if that hadn't hit off his bat. Definitely a foul ball.
Pouvel is a junior from Ryder. He hails from Thurmont, Maryland, and he takes a fastball high. He's hitting .286 so far on the year, a .429 slugging. That's good for an .873 OPS. He is second on the Thunderbolts in OPS. 1-1 from Lehman, chopped slowly over to third. Panett bobbles it, recollects it, throws to first off balance in time for the out.
Yeah, that's great work by Panett. So cool-headed, bobbled it a bit, and then just gets the bare hand in there, smothers the ball into his stomach and throws on the run. You have to be just so calm, collected to make that play. If you rush it even a bit, the ball falls out of your hand or it's zipped into the crowd. Good work by the young third baseman.
That's the second putout of the game for Panett. This ball chops slowly back to Lehman. He gloves it. Underhand flip to first will retire Gabe Ruiz. No runs on 1 hit, no errors, and 1 runner left on base. Still 2-0 Big Train as we head to the bottom half of the second. And we're going to give you a recap of yesterday's game, brought to you by our very own Eliav Brooks Rubin.
It was a successful day in their first game back after a week. The Big Train took down the Gaithersburg Giants by a score of 8-2. They scored 2 early runs, and then it was the pitching from there, capped off by this Drew Bellis punch-out.
Coils and fires. Called strike 3. Drew Bellis, his 22nd K of the year.
The offense showed up late with a 6th-run 7th inning. First, Parker Corbin coming around to score on a pass ball, and then a 2-run single by Matt Wesley capped off the frame.
A big one here.
That pitch goes to the backstop. The runner takes off from third. Diving in time is Corbin. He crosses the plate to make it 3-0 Bethesda Train in their Newark Eagles jerseys. The 1-2. Swinging a line drive into left center field. That's dropping fast. That's going to get away from Marino. 1 run's going to score. 2 runs are going to score. Wesley scoots over to second base. 2-run hit. Falls into the Bermuda Triangle out there in left center field, and it's now 8-0.
Big Train won their 5th in a row and are looking to move into sole possession of first place in the North Division with a sweep of the doubleheader today.
2-0 Big Train in the bottom half of the second. Emilio Gonzalez will step to the plate to lead things off for the Big Train. He was hitting at the time the last inning ended when Peyton Steele got picked off at first. He was in the middle of his at-bat, but he will get a fresh count here. First pitch is a slider that just misses upstairs from Josh Zuckerman.
We had a brief moment last half inning where the video cut out. Gibson hurt over there. It's so hot out. He's scrambling all over, having to move cameras around.
Line drive into shallow center. Coming on for the dive is Ruiz, but he can't get it. It's past him. Gonzalez is up to second. He's going to think about 3, but stay at second with a leadoff double. Not a very good read out there in center by Ruiz. You could maybe call that an error. We'll see what the scorers say.
And going back to that, to be clear, I'm not blaming Gibson Hurt for anything cutting out. Just, like I said, it's so hot. He's moving cameras around, trying to find a space where they can not burn out, get you guys a good shot at home. Our producer-engineer, Gibson Hurt, always does fantastic work.
We're going to get him on the broadcast one of these days. He's a little camera shy, but we'll make him.
Looks like the ruling on the field is a double for Emilio Gonzalez.
That's good for the average and the slugging. Extra base hit for the FAU Owl will bring Josh Skoronsky up to the plate. Skoronsky has been very strong so far this year against right-handed pitching. He's 6 for 19. That's a .316 average. Only 1 for 9 against the lefties. Zuckerman kicks and fires. Fastball just misses outside.
Yes, Skoronsky, we talked about a lot in the early going, the power he showed in his college campaign. Just waiting for it to flash this summer. It's easy to forget with that long layoff. We're still less than 10 games in.
Slider just misses inside, and Skoronsky has a hitter's count at 2-1.
Big RBI spot for him, looking for his fourth run driven in.
He pops one foul down the line. He had a pinch hit at bat in the last game against Gaithersburg. Did not record a hit. Had 1 hit on the 12th against the Crop Dusters and 2 hits on the 11th on the road against the Alexandria Aces. Gonzalez still on second after the leadoff double. 2-2, popped up in the air towards center. Puvel and Ruiz both going in on it, and they run into each other, but it's the left fielder, Puvel, who makes the catch for the first out. Communication is key out there between outfielders. I think that's one where both of them thought they had it, maybe both of them calling for it, and neither one wanted to back off, which is better than both of them backing off and the ball dropping.
Yeah, it's a tough play. I mean, perfectly splits the gap, and Skoronsky just misses that pitch, hits it hard, but just a bit off the barrel, about a centimeter away from finding the gap there, probably.
Brett Ott shows a bunt and takes a called strike. And that was a point of contention in the last game. With it being Juneteenth, there was a big firework display in right field, and there was a pop-up on the infield. And Wright, Martinez, and Panette, all three converged on it. And since the fireworks were so loud, no one could hear who was calling for the ball. And so the ball just dropped between all three of them. And that was in a crucial point of the game. It was 2-0 Big Train in, I believe, the 7th or 6th. And you allow a runner to get on, tying run goes up to the plate. But the Big Train able to get out of that inning unscathed and eventually went on to put up 6 runs in the 8th to win that one 8-2.
Yeah, it helps when you have a guy like Drew Bellis, who you can put a guy on via that sort of error and then an infield hit. Then he says, to heck with it. I'm going to strike out the next 2 guys, including the league leader in batting average.
2-1 to Ott, taken low.
Brett Ott, he is an uber patient hitter. Takes his walk when it's given to him. One of the highest on-base percentages in the league at .512.
He's been a guy who just like you said, just takes his walks when they're given to him. And he takes inside there and has himself a full count.
That's a really nice take. When you do have the 12-6 curve, the downside is if you see it start off the plate, you know it's going straight down. and you can just let it be because it's not going to break back over the plate.
3-2. Upstairs, and there's another walk for Brett Ott. He increases that on-base percentage that's already over 500, and now Dylan Murphy will step in.
Yeah, Ott has reached multiple times in all but one start so far this year. Hitting .278, he's picked up doubles in each of his last 2 appearances. He's really finding his swing.
Kicking the fire from Zuckerman. Fastball misses low. Dylan Murphy hasn't played a game in 9 days. His last game was on the 12th against the Crop Dusters. He's been hitting well so far this year. A .267 average and a .450 on base, but his counterpart, Jacob Hawk, has been absolutely hammering the ball. But it's nice to see both catchers producing well.
Oh, absolutely. That's not necessarily a position baseball teams historically expect a lot of offense, but the Big Train have been getting offense from both of their backstops.
Popped up foul out of play.
And that's something there that Murphy does a lot. Put a bat on a baseball, has not struck out so far this year. The only Big Train hitter who can say that.
2-1 to the FAU catcher. Takes a slider just off the plate. 3-1 the count on Murphy.
And at-bats like the Big Train are putting up, takes like those can just frustrate a pitcher to no end. Zuckerman feels like he's making great pitches, but Big Train aren't giving him any help.
Fisted over towards second. Kim will go to short for 1. Relay back to first. Not in time. Gonzalez gets up to third. Ott forced out at second. Murphy safe at first. On the fielder's choice, there will be runners on the corners and 2 out for Alex Peltier.
Peltier, glad to see him up. Team's leader in batting average among qualifiers. And he's got a big chance. Every run you can tack on against T-Bolt's pitching is welcome.
387 the average coming into this game, and that was before his leadoff single in the top of the first. He takes a fastball just below the knees for a ball. Zuckerman looking to work out of damage. Pick off at first, and that ball gets away. Coming home from third is Gonzalez. He will score. Up to second is Murphy. And he's very lucky not to be picked off there. He was leaning over towards first, but Foster just couldn't come up with that ball at first in the dirt.
Yeah, it's a really nice pickoff move from Zuckerman. He's got a good one to both first and second. He's caught a couple of Big Train runners leading, but that's a huge break for Bethesda. An error gifted another run.
1-0 to Peltier. Lined up the middle, and it's through for a base hit. Murphy at third's getting the windmill home. The throw will not be coming to the plate. A second single for Peltier. His first RBI as Murphy crosses, and the Big Train are all over the T-Bolts early. 2 runs in the first 2 innings. It's 4-0.
Turns out Gonzalez would have scored anyway, but now again, that error allows Murphy to get in a scoring position. With 2 outs, he's moving on contact, and Peltier able to drive him home. I mean, Big Train just 1 extra base hit so far, and it was still a bloop that just snuck by the center fielder, but everything's just going their way.
Off for second is Peltier. Throw down. Not in time. A third stolen base of the game for Peltier. He had 5 early in the season in 1 game against Gaithersburg. We'll see if he has anything to say about breaking that record.
Yeah, boy, already 3. I mean, they're willing to send him whenever he's got a good look. He just flies down those base paths.
He might be off for third. Who knows? 2-0 on Brennan Wright. 12-6 curveball just catches the zone at the knees. 2-1 to the South Alabama commit. Zuckerman will throw a pickoff over to second, but Peltier back. When
you've had a long inning like Zuckerman has, he's approaching 50 pitches on the day, and you have Peltier dancing around out there at second, it really just sticks in your craw.
Fouled back by Wright. He's even in the count at 2-2.
All you want to do is stare home and deal with Brennan Wright, but Peltier, just a niggling thought in the back of Zuckerman's mind right now, and that might help Wright get a better pitch to hit than he might otherwise.
2-2. Peltier again with a big lead at second. Kick and the fire grounded over to the right side. Stabbed by the first baseman Foster. He will run to the bag himself for the out, but not before 2 runs cross on 2 hits, 1 error, and 1 runner left on base. Jackson Corcoran will take over play-by-play duties in the third when we come back on the Big Train Baseball Network.
Two pretty clean innings for Connor Lehman. He returns to the rubber for a third frame of work and gets a swing and a miss out of Bryce Curry to start the frame. Again, that fastball just pounding the hands of these Thunderbolts hitters. Gets ahead. Swing and a miss again. Fastball, this one below the zone.
Yeah, you'd think with the powerful fastball from the left-handed side that Lehman has, he'd be just gunning for strikeout after strikeout. But he's been accurate today, and most of his outs have, in fact, all of his outs have come via plays in the field. 5 ground outs and 1 lazy pop-up.
The only ball that's left the infield here, Point Quincy, was the double by Braden Foster last inning. The 0-2 to Curry. Swing and a foul. Despite Curry battling here with 2 strikes, it hasn't been because Lehman's lacked the put away. It's just been he's getting quick outs and soft contact. Only 33 pitches so far. Pitch. Ball low off speed.
And you don't want to lose Curry here to a walk. He's been struggling this year, only 2 for 22 on the year in 6 games.
Lehman coils and delivers. Swing and a miss. Fooled Curry, his first punch out of the day.
Hey, we were talking about how he didn't have any strikeouts yet. That time, a lot of almost over a foot of horizontal break on that slider. I believe Curry thought that one was just going to miss way wide, and then it came back towards the zone, and by the time it came back, too late on the swing.
Yeah, I agree with you, Quincy. That's a late swing from Curry. All he wanted to do was to fight it off, and he just couldn't connect. First pitch to Kim is a ball. Matthew Kim, the second baseman in the 9 hole, he takes upstairs. The sophomore from Frederick Community College is 2 for 14 this year. Hails from McLean, Virginia. Delivery. Cut on and missed.
Yeah, and a lot of strikeout stuff coming to the bottom of the order for Lehman. I think He maybe heard us talking about his lack of strikeouts.
Won't add to the total here. It's a high chopper over to Emilio Gonzalez. He taps on the sack, and that's out number 2. Lehman working very well. 38 pitches through 2 2/3. Quickly, efficiently filling the zone. Almost 2/3 of his pitches have been strikes, Quincy.
Yeah, 25 strikes to just 14 balls for a guy that struggled with walks to start this year. No walks the first trip through the order, and only the 1 hit allowed. I'm sure head coach Sal Colangelo very happy about this performance.
Slider goes inside, but yeah, you want Lehman to eat up as many innings as he can today with 14 innings to play, and then another game tomorrow and the day after that and the day after that. The length you can get from every pitcher on this staff is going to be crucial in this run of near constant baseball games. The 3-0 is low. The first walk of the day issued to Josh Erd.
A little bit of an announcer's jinx there, talking about no walks so far. But still, a 4-run lead for Lehman. And you'd rather the walk come with 2 outs than to lead off an inning.
He's been spotted plenty of advantage. And now he's got a lefty-lefty matchup. First pitch is in the dirt, blocked there by Dylan Murphy. The toss is below the knees of Aiden Driscoll. Right fielder chopped out to John Martinez last time to the plate. Went under the glove of Panette. Martinez made a nice throw on the run. Lehman finds the zone once again. Zips across the Thunderbolts, or actually rather the Tacoma on the front of the Thunderbolts jerseys. It says Silver Spring Tacoma in red lettering on their blue tops.
Yeah, they play out of Silver Spring, Maryland. That's where their home field is, at least. But maybe by I think the dual towns in the name is trying to appeal to more areas, I would assume. Like the Angels call themselves the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim because they want to appeal to Los Angeles and Anaheim. I don't know if that was Silver Spring's mantra by doing that.
Coach Lopez will try to appeal to Connor Lehman to find the zone just one more time here against Steve Thomas. Quick mound visit. Back-to-back walks from Lehman after going through the lineup the first time, looking very, very, very sharp, allowing just one base runner. Now back-to-back have reached via the base on balls.
Yeah, and with 2 outs, this is a huge at-bat here from Steve Thomas to try to get something on the board for Silver Spring. This is a team that has just struggled so mightily to put balls in play and produce runs. They're near the bottom of the league in most offensive categories. They're 7th in slugging, 7th in OPS, and 7th in average. And so in games where they're behind early, it almost feels impossible to come back. But this is a big at-bat for Thomas.
That one grounded foul, but Silver Spring Tacoma has scored 43 fewer runs than the Big Train this year. 91-48 is the overall tally.
They do make up for that, though, by having a 2.6 team ERA to the Big Train's 5.13.
It's all come out in the wash so far. That's why both teams are 6-3. The pitch from Lehman. Yes, that's a strike. Oh, 2 to Thomas. Low and inside. Yanks the fastball a little bit towards the feet of the T-Bolts 3-hitter. On the season, the Big Train have allowed just 1 run in the 3rd inning overall. Lehman looking to keep that trend intact. The pitch. Grounded towards Martinez at short. He shovels over to Brennan Wright, and the side is retired in the top of the third. Lehman has thrown 3 scoreless frames, works around a pair of walks, and the Big Train still lead 4-0. First 2 innings for the Bethesda offense, looking to do it once again against Josh Zuckerman. The middle of the Big Train lineup due in the bottom of the third. Martinez, Panette, and Steele. The FAU shortstop, John Martinez, takes ball 1 outside. Check swing. Did he go? First base umpire Carl Demalia says yes. Josh Zuckerman set at the belt, the 1-1, fouled up and over the broadcast booth and out into the parking lot.
Yeah, Martinez was the only Big Train hitter to strike out in his first time through the plate.
He takes that pitch just a skosh high.
They've been hitting the ball hard, though. I mean, 4 hits already, and they've parlayed that into 4 runs, which is something I think the Big Train have been getting better at as the season progresses. Early in the year, I think you saw a lot of high hit totals, but the runs weren't necessarily coming. Now they've been pushing across run, like I believe in the game yesterday, they pushed across 8 runs with only 6 hits.
And 8 runs, 8 left on base. Anytime you match your left on base total with your runs, you're doing just fine. That one is high. Well, I suppose that's not an always rule. Score 1 run, leave 1 on base. You couldn't say that's a good offensive day. But 8 runs, 8 left on base, that's a ratio that you will take time and time again.
Yeah, the first thing you look at is the total runs.
Curveball, low ball forward to John Martinez. Third walk issued by Zuckerman on the day through 2+.
Yeah, the location just hasn't really been there for him so far. We mentioned only the 1 strikeout, already 3 walks, and when he has come over the plate, the Big Train have hit him hard. So far, like we said, the strong hitting for the Big Train outplaying the strong pitching from the Thunderbolts.
And the pitching that's really rounding into form for Bethesda has been very good against the weak T-Bolts bats. That curveball is low. But, I mean, most of what the Thunderbolts have done on the defensive end pitching side looks pretty repeatable. Maybe not the 2.6 ERA exactly, but one of the better staffs in the league. They've looked at by the eye test. Strike called to Panette. But if they can keep pitching near like they have and just figure out the bats a bit, I mean, they'll stay well in contention. I mean, to hit 211 as a team and still be atop your division speaks very kindly to your pitching and defense.
And that was one thing that people talked about with the Seattle Mariners last year. They had the best pitching staff, at least ERA-wise, in the league, but didn't make the playoffs because they couldn't scratch a run across. But this year, the Mariners' bats have been just, I would say, slightly better, and they're doing very well so far for themselves. That's an example in the macro. Just this season, on a game-by-game basis, if the T-Bolts can improve their hitting just a little bit, you could see that in the micro.
Keeping a close eye on John Martinez at first. Josh Zuckerman has picked again. He's active in keeping runners planted. The pitch. Swinging a foul by Logan Panette. Big Train have swiped a total of 31 bags this year coming into this game, and Alex Peltier and co. have added to that, up to 35 now. Pitch to Panette is inside.
Yeah, 3 for Peltier today and 1 for Wright. Anytime you can advance 90 more feet, it just gives you that much better of a chance of putting runs across.
The 2-2. Swing and a miss. Runner takes off. The throw down from Thomas is late. Martinez swipes the bag, but it looks like Thomas contacted Panette on his follow-through, and he's favoring his hand. And they will call the runner out after that contact. Interference on Logan Panette, who leaned over the plate just as a consequence of his swing. Nothing intentional trying to get in the way of Thomas, but ends up as a de facto strike him out, throw him out.
Yeah, and Martinez is hit with a caught stealing there as well. And now the attention turns to Thomas as multiple people are looking at his hand, his throwing hand.
We'll take a brief step aside while they tend to Thomas here on the Big Train Baseball Network. Quincy Bell, Jackson Corcoran with you. Steve Thomas ends up no worse for wear after running into Panette on the throw. The interference retiring Martinez. Swing and a miss by Peyton Steele for strike 1. So now there's 2 outs in the inning. Martinez erased, stole the bag, but again, the interference called on Panette, which causes Martinez to be removed and the out called.
Yeah, a bit of a tough break there for the Big Train. I don't think Panette meant to lean over the plate and cause Thomas to make a bad throw.
Single to right field by Peyton Steele, 2 for 2, both times going oppo. And that brings up Emilio Gonzalez, the owner of today's extra base hit for Bethesda.
Yeah, Steele, another great piece of hitting there, attacking an outside fastball and just punching it the opposite way. He did the exact same thing in his first at-bat. And Gonzalez, who had the double earlier in the game, could look to push across a 5th run, maybe if Steele tries to steal a base, no pun intended. He did get picked off at first to end the first inning, but his intentions were clear that he was trying to go. So we'll see if he actually does get a successful steal this time. A good time to go with 2 outs.
Gonzalez takes a ball high. He's 5 for 21 against right-handed pitching like Josh Zuckerman. He has 11 RBI on the season. Pickoff not in time. Looking for number 12 with another extra base hit. The in-stadium speakers beg, "Don't do me like that." No more pickoffs from Zuckerman. Pitch high and inside, bends the back of Gonzalez, who does a little dance over towards the Thunderbolts dugout. On this steamy day, I mean, I don't think Zuckerman's throwing at Gonzalez at all. I think that's maybe a bit too much sweat on the fingers for his liking. Ball just comes high and inside.
And he's definitely not throwing at him down 4 runs and with a runner on and 2 outs.
I think that was his 67th pitch. He's missed high a couple times in the row, which is often a sign of a bit of fatigue. If you're not able to finish the pitch down in the zone, it can often point to you're just getting tired, and that's no shame. It is. The scoreboard reads 92 degrees, and it's plenty humid.
Yeah, it's pretty sticky if you walk outside.
And the air just feels like it's holding you in place as you're walking around. The 2-0 to Gonzalez. That curveball holds him in place. Nice pitch by Zuckerman. The brief mound visit gets him right, at least for the time being.
Yeah, almost 1.5 feet of vertical break there.
The 2-1. Misses away. Action in the T-Bolts bullpen. They've got a righty tossing. Gonzalez, damage pitch, 3-1. Swinging a foul on the breaking ball.
And Zuckerman has located the breaking ball a little bit better than his fastball today. Steele's running here, 3-2, 2 out.
Runner goes, payoff pitch, swinging a ground ball hard. Gloved by a diving Kim. The throw to first retires Emilio Gonzalez. Sparkling defensive play by Matthew Kim. Strands Peyton Steele on the base paths. Bethesda still leads 4-0 after 3 full innings of play. Connor Lehman returning the mound for a 4th inning of work. He's well surpassed his season high in innings pitched. Kicks and delivers to Jack McCarthy. It's outside for ball 1.
Yeah, the last inning was really the only inning where he showed a little bit of trouble. Walked 2 hitters after getting 2 outs, but was able to get a ground ball to ultimately end the inning. And I'm sure in a 7-inning game like this one is, you'd really like to see him get another inning in, would just prove very nicely for the Big Train bullpen when they eventually come out, having to take over 3 innings as opposed to 4.
Yeah, every inning you can get as a starting pitcher in games like these is such a boon to your bullpen. Pours in a strike here on the 3-0. McCarthy grounded over to Emilio Gonzalez last time he came to the plate in the second. That 3-1 is outside from Lehman. That's his third walk in the last 4 batters. It's been the second time through the order that has shown a bit of struggle for Connor Lehman.
And Braden Foster is the only guy to have a hit off him today. He doubled down the left field line. So we'll see if the T-Bolts can mount a rally. With this most likely being Lehman's last inning, it'd be the ideal time to do so.
The first baseman, Foster, holds the bat high above his head, chokes up even with no balls and no strikes in the count, and takes a pitch inside.
That could be partly due to Lehman having a lot of velocity. A lot of people like to choke up on the bat in that scenario.
Pop foul off the bat of Foster. As he stands at the plate, he does little measured flicks with the end of his bat out towards Lehman on the mound. Very twitchy but controlled up there at the plate. The 1-1. Just a bit inside.
And Foster has struggled so far this year coming into today. He was only 2 for 14 in 5 games played, but a double in his first at bat. Now he's in a hitter's count.
The breaking ball just low. 2 pitches, pretty good from Lehman, but couldn't get the zone, couldn't get the call. 2 pitches, yeah, not bad spots on either of those, but just missing the zone. 3-1 now, swing and a miss.
Yeah, and Foster was trying to attack a get-me-over pitch there, but a well-located fastball by Lehman. We'll see what he goes to with the full count.
Closed off stance from the Alabama product. Coils and fires. Ground ball foul through the legs of the T-Bolts third base coach.
And Foster has been early in this game. Like, that fastball came in at 90 miles an hour, and he was early on it, pulled it down the line. And his hit also was kept barely fair down that third base line. If I'm Lehman, I'm throwing something soft away to try to get a strikeout.
But he's trusted his fastball a lot today. See if he sticks with the cheddar. The pitch. Check swing. Did he go? No, he held up on the breaker. Back-to-back walks from Lehman. And it brings up Griffin Pavel.
Yeah, and he did come with the off-speed, but that's a great job of holding up there by Foster. He definitely wanted to swing at that pitch, but realized it was going to be low and just held up. That's really a great piece of hitting there.
And a ground ball here induced by Lehman will be just what the doctor ordered. Runners on first and second, none dead. Swing, and that's cued off the end of Pavel's bat.
And Pavel has some of the better on-base skills for the Thunderbolts. 444 on base. So he's the guy you would want up right now to try to get the tying run to the plate.
Ground ball at the middle, off the glove of Lehman and into no man's land. It's going to be picked up by Martinez, but no chance to get Pavel at first. A tough hop sends it off the heel of Lehman's glove, and that's going to load him up.
I think you can rule that a hit or an error, with that being not an easy play to field, but at the end of the day, the bases are loaded with nobody out, and we'll see if that's the end of the line for Lehman. Just kind of a tough way to start this 4th inning. The control was starting to dwindle a little bit at the end of the 3rd, and it sort of bled into the 4th.
And it looks like there will be a new arm into this ball game to try and get out of the jam. Lehman's still standing on the mound, but now exiting the bullpen is a new pitcher for Bethesda. We'll step aside during the warm-up and tell you all about the new arm when we return. Tyler Brashear enters for Bethesda. He has been razor sharp in his last 2 outings, giving up no runs over 4 1/3 against Metro SoCo, and then in the last game, striking out the side.
And he's getting put into the fire here with the bases loaded and nobody out. You got the bottom of the Silver Spring order due up, 7, 8, and 9. You'd like a strikeout here, but a weak ground ball would do as well. Corners are playing in to try to maybe cut down the run at home.
Pitch fouled straight back.
Ruiz, just a slow ground ball back to the pitcher in his first at-bat. He was attacking the first pitch Brashear threw out of the bullpen.
Swing and a miss.
And that's beautiful right there. Drops the curveball right by him. A lot of bite on that pitch, too. And now Brashear can really go to anything here up 0-2.
Set at the belt, taps the foot once, twice, thrice. Kicks the pitch. Foul it goes.
Yeah, good, and a good job there by Ruiz to adjust to that slider. I'd imagine he thought that was going to be another fastball. He was pretty late on it, but that ball was in the zone, and he was able to get a bat on it to see another pitch.
Delivery to the UMBC product, Ruiz. Swinging a line drive into center field, moving it onto this Peltier. He makes the catch! Throwing into second base, it eludes the glove of Martinez. They missed the double play opportunity, but what a grab by Peltier. Saves at least 2 runs.
And that is just an incredibly risky play. To go down to the knee like that with the bases loaded, nobody out. If you go to that type of catch, you better come up with it. And Peltier did. A little bit disappointing they couldn't get the double play over at second, but a ridiculous play nonetheless.
First one to Curry is outside, but I think he just rushed the throw into second. Little bit of adrenaline popping up after that fantastic catch, because he had all the time in the world to double off Foster. Slider is low to Curry. It's now 2-0, but wow, what a huge play in this game.
Yeah, and if you're Silver Spring too, you have to score a run there. With McCarthy sitting on third, you're going to score whether that ball's caught or not. He was halfway down the line when Peltier caught it. Had to go back.
Pitch chopped up the middle. Scoots past Brashear. Coming in Martinez, the throw to first. He got him. So the run scores McCarthy. It's now 4-1, but Brashear doing well through the first 2, retiring them both, and now 1 away from limiting the damage.
Yeah, great job there to induce a slow ground ball. Did give up the run, but you'll take that with coming out to a bases loaded, no out scenario. And now this is a massive at bat here for Kama. You'd feel pretty good if you're Bethesda getting out of this inning up 4-1. A base hit making it 4-3. Not ideal.
Brashear works from the extreme first base side of the rubber. Matthew Kim, batting gloveless, stands in the box with runners at second and third. 2 outs in the inning. Brashear goes outside. A little head bob of disappointment in that pitch. Not what he wanted in that count. Now has to work his way in to the 9-hitter.
They do have a base open right now, but Josh Erd waiting on deck has some terrific on-base skills. He'd probably be one of the last guys I'd want to see with the bases loaded.
Pitch is outside to Kim, 3-0. And even to a guy who's 2 of 15 on the year, a 3-0 count is tough sledding for a pitcher. Brashear shakes out the arm, gets the sign from Murphy. Catches the edge for a strike.
And this, I'll be interested to see if Kim attacks a get-me over here, Because this is a spot where a hit is definitely better than a walk, but you don't want to flail at something that could be ball 4. I'd imagine he's putting a small zone up there.
Delivery. Swinging a foul tip into the glove of Murphy.
And that was a middle fastball, and Kim took a hack at it, but just barely off on that one, tipping it back.
Payoff. Ball 4 outside. Kim juices up the bases once again for Josh Erd.
And Erd has popped up and walked today. Both of those at-bats coming against Lehman. But a 444 on base coming into this game. 286 hitter. He's gritty up there. He's not a guy that's just going to go down swinging. He only has 1 strikeout on the year. He has great bat-to-ball skills, and he's going to put up a battle here.
First pitch swinging down the left field line. That is down. The throw in towards third base. Picked by Panette, the tag. He's safe. 2-run score on the knock from Josh Erd, and it's a 1-run game.
Yeah, and coming off of the walk to Kim, you knew you have to attack with the bases loaded to Erd, but you know who also knows that is Josh Erd. He attacks the first pitch and just dumps one into left, and that's pretty disappointing that the big trade couldn't get that tag down because Povich was coming around from second. If they would have gotten that tag, the run would not have scored.
Yeah, the tag was applied pretty much exactly at the same time as Povich was scampering home, so
I do think Panette missed him, though. You have to appeal this because it will save you a run if you're the big train. I think he missed him.
They're chatting it up in front of the mound here, and they confirm the call. That's a 2-run hit for Josh Erd. Single advances on the throw. And so now all 3 of those runs are going to be charged to Connor Lehman. 2 of them earned. Concludes his day with 3 innings pitched, 1 hit allowed, 3 runs, 2 earned, 1 strikeout. Brashear now just trying to hold on to this lead. Second and third. 2 outs in the inning. Nice pitch, dots it up to start off the plate appearance against Aiden Driscoll.
And Driscoll's another strong hitter, 350 average and a 500 on base. A single could potentially give Silver Spring the lead. Brashear's going to have to dig deep here.
Darts it inside, pushes back the belt of Driscoll, evens up our count. Catcher Thomas waits on deck. Right fielder Driscoll up now. High pop fly. It'll be on the infield. Right coming in, calling everybody off. And the big train concede 3 runs in the inning, but hold on to their lead for now. Tyler Brashear rallies to keep Bethesda up by 1 halfway through this contest. New pitcher in for Silver Spring. Liam Bowen replaces Josh Zuckerman, who went 3 innings, gave up 5 hits, 4 runs, 2 of which were earned, walked 3 and struck out 2. And now Bowen, the right-hander from Bethesda, is in to try and keep this game close.
Yeah, things got away from the big train in this top half of the 4th. You'd like nothing more than for the bottom of the order to get a few runners on, flip things back to the top, and get those runs back, because you really don't want momentum to shift Silver Spring's way, especially with the middle of their order, 3, 4, 5 due up next.
That pitch is inside to Skaronski. He dances out of the way. Skaronski flew out to the left center gap last time up. It was a mess out there. 2 outfielders running into each other, but ended up with an out. And now to end up with an out in this at-bat, it's going to be tough for Bowen, who's down 3-0. We're told Liam Bowen is quite close with our producer-engineer, Gibson Hurt. He's got a video camera on the pitcher right now. Fastball in there for a strike.
A little bit of a 3-0 strike call there. That pitch looked a little bit up, according to our TrackMan.
Skaronski waves the bat out towards the mound. The 3-1. High ball 4. Bowen walks the first batter he faces, and here's Brett Ott.
And if balls are going to become a trend for Bowen in this game, Ott is not the guy you want to throw them against. Took a walk in his first at-bat, and in his first at-bat, we were talking about how he takes walks better than most everyone on this big train roster.
His walk-up song is apropos. It's Borderline by Tame Impala. If it pitches around the borderline, he's going to take it. And that's why his on-base percentage is well above 500. Squares to bunt, pulls it back. Past the borderline it goes for ball 1.
That is a good walk-up song. I'm quite a fan of Tame Impala myself.
The Australian sounds like a group, but it's just one guy, Kevin Parker. The 1-0 to Ott, swing and a pop heading towards the Bethesda dugout. Twists into the seats down the third base line, and the lucky fan from Rockville grabs that one.
You know that he's from Rockville?
Oh, yeah, I know where everybody's from. Okay. You know, you look down the right field line, three rows over, 2 seats down. Just from Bethesda. And then you go up 2 seats from that. Traveled here from Gaithersburg. 1-1 now to Ott, squares again, and that's a ball inside. Big lead at first for Skaronski. That pitch is low, and Skaronski takes off when it's bobbled by Thomas. The throw is offline, and the right fielder snags second base.
Yeah, and Thomas, the catcher, was shaking his hand after he threw that one down. He pulled that ball really badly towards the shortstop side of the bag. He did get hit in the hand by Logan Panette earlier. You got to wonder if his hand isn't really 100% right now.
Pitch to Ott is low, ball 4 or so, Brett Ott thought. Late strike call from our home plate umpire, and the count is filled.
Yeah, that pitch looked pretty low. That's I think a good take from Ott. You're not going to do much with that pitch. I'd leave that down.
Now the 3-2. Swing and a drive into right field. That's carrying back towards the foul pole. It is just foul.
Yeah, and Brett Ott not concerned with the walk anymore. He takes a cut at a middle fastball and just hooks it barely foul. I think that hit off the 330 sign along the right field foul pole. He was, feet away from a 2-run home run.
Yeah, about 2 feet up, 1 foot to the left, and that rings the foul pole as it was. As you said, it hits off the signage near the Silver Spring bullpen, and Ott gets another go at things against Liam Bowen. The payoff once again. Now ball 4, no doubt about that. And Ott has walked twice today.
Yeah, 2 of the 3 home runs the Big Train have hit this year have been just like barely kept fair. Like 2 of them, the grand slam from Panette on opening day, barely tucked inside the left field pole. And then the home run from Corbin against the Grays on the road, that one barely tucked inside the right field pole.
Squaring to bunt is Murphy. It's a good one down the third base line. Moving in is Curry. Bare hands throws. Not in time. Picture perfect bunt by the catcher Dylan Murphy, and an infield hit loads up the bases for Alex Peltier.
Yeah, and Curry fielded that on a bare hand and made a smooth throw over to first. I mean, that's almost a perfect play on that ball, but still not in time. A great bunt there from Murphy, and now the Thunderbolts were able to cash in all 3 runs when they loaded the bases with nobody out. The Big Train looking to do the same. Corners are in for Silver Spring.
Pitch is at the bottom of the zone for a strike to Peltier. I don't know if you folks at home can see on our wide camera, but throughout this game, shortstops and center fielders on both teams have been waving their gloves and hands around. Appears to be a big swarm of gnats on this field. That's a line drive into right field, moving back. Driscoll, it's over his head, and it's going to go to the wall. Misjudged that fly ball, and Peltier's going to have extra bases. 1 scores, 2 scores. Held up at third base is Murphy. It's now 6-3 Big Train.
Yeah, and you were talking about putting your hand up because something's distracting you. I don't know if that happened to Driscoll and right, but he had a very bad first step on that ball. His first step was in, and Peltier just beat him over the top. 2 runs are in, and this has the makings of a monstrous inning for the Big Train. That could just be the start.
Still nobody out. Peltier with the 2-run 2-bagger. Now Brennan Wright. Infield brought in. That pitch in the dirt blocked by Thomas. Keeps Murphy pegged to third. Wright walked and scored in the first, grounded out in the second.
And now the infield, everyone for Silver Spring's playing on the grass.
Fastball strike from Bowen.
I guess they're thinking the run, preventing the run is the primary focus now.
Wright, 2 for 16 with runners in scoring position. He fouls that pitch off. Has 4 RBI on the season. Has struck out in less than 1 in every 10 at-bats, or plate appearances, rather. The 1-2 now, outside. Right, bends low in his stance for the 2-2. Cut on, and he went. Strike 3. The first strikeout of the day for Bowen, and a big one.
That's very uncharacteristic for Wright. He doesn't strike out a ton, but that's an at-bat where if you're Bowen, you really like to see the strikeout there because any decent contact is scoring at least 1 run from third, so you count your lucky stars if you're Bowen to get Wright to strike out there.
I'll look to do the same to John Martinez, who's K'd once today, also has walked. Still second and third, still just 1 out. So the Silver Spring infield toes the grass. Towards the head of Martinez, Bowen just lost the grip on that breaking ball.
I think he had a little too much sweat on his hand. He immediately went to his pants to wipe off his hand and then went to the rosin bag just now.
Fiddles with the ball a bit, gets the grip he likes, comes set at the letters, and now goes too far outside. Bowen nods yes to the sign from Thomas. Brings home a 2-1. Inside. First pitch strike to Martinez, followed by 3 consecutive balls. And now the shortstop has a chance to break this game open a bit. Nice pitch on the 3-2. Goes with the changeup or splitter perhaps. And brings us full. Bowen to Martinez. Ball 4 inside, and they're loaded up for Logan Panette.
Yeah, Panette had the grand slam on opening day. He's been hitting pretty well with runners in scoring position this year. 313 on the year, 13 RBIs. And this is a chance for him to really crack this game open.
And the whole platoon will head out to the mound to have a chat with Liam Bowen. Slaps, pats, grunts, and nods of affirmation towards the right-handed pitcher, and he'll return to action against the Big Train's leader in OPS.
And it looks like Silver Spring's going to go with corners in and the middle infield back. Panette not the speediest runner in the world, so they could try to turn the double play. I think if this was like Peltier at the plate, they go everyone in.
The pitch grounded towards short, fielded by Erd, now bobbled. Shovels to second, Kim on to first. He'll hold on to the ball. They only get one out, and that allows Dylan Murphy to kick home. It's now 7-3 Bethesda.
And they've now gotten all 3 runs back that they gave up in the top half of the inning. Good job by Panette to beat out that double play. Helped out a little bit by the bobble from Erd. And this is just a great response inning for the Big Train after Silver Spring appeared to have all the momentum.
Peyton Steele, he's 2 for 2. This is his 5th game with the Big Train, and now he's had multi-hit games in 3 of them. Panette bluffed a move off first base. He has 6 stolen bases so far this year. He returns to the bag, and now it's 2-0 to Steele.
I'd imagine he's staying put. I don't think you want to risk running into an out with Steele at the plate, especially since he has had the hot hand today.
Strike called from our home plate umpire, Michael Schmar. That pitch right at the knees of the designated hitter. Two-one. Swing and a miss on the off-speed throw goes into center field. And coming on home, free as a bird, is Alex Peltier. But once again, it's going to be a interference call at home plate. They're going to nab Peyton Steele for getting in the way some way, somehow. So that's going to end the half inning. No run will score. So it should stay 7-3. They're calling out the runner because of Peyton Steele's interference. So 3 runs in the inning on 2 hits for Bethesda. They get those runs back. It's 7-3 after 4.
Welcome back to Shirley Povich Field. Rough ending of the last inning for the big train. Peyton Steele called out due to interfering with the catcher Thomas for the Thunderbolts. But the big train able to push across 3 runs in that last half inning. And Steve Thomas just got hit by the pitch, but our umpiring crew is going to have a discussion on whether or not he leaned into that one.
Yeah, it looks like the elbow flared out a bit from Thomas there. And even if it wasn't a lean in, I think it's worth a discussion at least. Because that pitch was not particularly far inside. They will give him the bag, though.
Yeah, that pitch missed inside by a few inches. It definitely wasn't. It wouldn't have been a strike.
No, it wasn't a strike
if he didn't do that.
But the rules in college baseball a bit more lax when it comes to the hit by pitch. Though the pure lean in about the only thing you can't do. So, and that's pretty much a judgment call.
Kick and the fire from Brushear misses inside. A kid that played in our Little League, his name was Danny Brady, and he had a habit of just standing on top of the plate and getting hit by pitches, and people would always call it a strike. So back in Northwest Indiana, that's called the Danny Brady strike, if you lean into a pitch and it's called a strike.
At Carleton College is called the Sam Zach strike, if any Knights fans are listening in.
2-0 ahead in the count is Jack McCarthy. He walked and came around to score in his last at-bat. He cuts and did not foul one back. That ball just got off the mid of Murphy. And now heading up to third, trying to take 2 bags, is Thomas, and he will.
And just have to hop on that baseball. I mean, whether it's fouled off or not, have to be aware that it might be called not fouled. Murphy certainly thought it was tipped by McCarthy there, but a free bag. And again, we're going to chat it over.
Once again, our 3-man umpiring crew will discuss. Murphy didn't immediately run back and try to get that ball like it was a pass ball. And I would think catchers are pretty good about that, but they're going to keep Thomas at third. So I guess that would be scored just 2 bases off a wild pitch, if I had to guess. So now McCarthy has a runner at third with nobody out, and he's ahead in the count 2-1, now 3-1, as Brushear misses upstairs. Brushear was able to get 3 outs in 5 batters that he faced when coming in with the bases loaded, nobody out in the last inning. 3-1 gets to the backstop, but Thomas will stay at third with there being nobody out. So back-to-back free passes for the Thunderbolts.
Yeah, Brushear got 2 big outs to start his appearance, then walked Matthew Kim on a full count pitch. And since then, he hasn't been at his sharpest after 2 electric outings in a row. Just trying to get the ground ball, coax the ground ball out of Foster here, the switch hitter.
Braden Foster has been seeing the ball well, has doubled and walked today. And when he walked, he forced a very long at-bat against Lehman, who started this game. Lehman went 3 innings, gave up only 1 hit, but 3 runs, 2 of them earned, thanks to 4 walks and only 1 strikeout. A half swing, appeal to first, actually no appeal. Plate umpire Michael Schmar says that was a full swing. 1-1 now, the count on Braden Foster. Brushear kicks and delivers. Fastball misses down and away.
Need an out here, even if the run scores. You've got a little to play with here, holding the 4-run lead. Just want to avoid the crooked number, and you can do that by getting out number 1.
Yeah, this can't be an inning that spirals for the big train. Fastball misses inside. 3-1 the count on Foster. The big train pushed across 2 runs in the first, 2 runs in the second. They were up 4-0. Silver Spring with 3 runs in the top half of the fourth. We thought they had all the momentum coming into the bottom of the fourth, but the big train got all 3 of those runs back. And that's how this game currently sits at 7-3. Big swing and a miss by Foster. He now has a full count.
Yeah, big pitch here for Brashear. Might see McCarthy at first take off, getting a bigger lead.
He does not go, and Foster takes high. So 3 free passes to start the inning for Brashear.
And quickly, I'd like to apologize. Listed on the lineup card that we received about 30 minutes before game time was Griffin Pavel in this 6th spot. But in fact, it's been Ryan Quadros in left field, late replacement that we were not aware of. So it's been Quadros, number 15, batting in this spot. It's our mistake.
Yeah. These are not... We should have known that his first or second time coming to the plate. He now works in his 3rd at-bat, and this is one of the biggest at-bats that this game has seen to this point. Quadros represents the tying run as he works against Brashear. He fouls one straight back into the net. We'll give you the bio on Quadros since we didn't in his first 2 at-bats. He's a senior infielder from Marymount University, hails from Springfield, Virginia. Off to a strong start, a .333 average and a .500 on base. 0-1. Catches the down inside corner, or low inside corner. 0-2 on Quadros, and this could be a big strikeout for Brashear if he's able to get it.
Yeah. Good spot here, 0-2, to try and get this outfielder to go fishing.
Swing and a miss. He does go fishing. Down and away. A beautiful pitch from Brashear and a much-needed strikeout. And now Gabe Ruiz will step in. He was robbed by Alex Peltier in his last at-bat. Peltier, a beautiful catch going down to his knees with the bases loaded, nobody out. That's a huge play if you look back on it in this game. Attacking the first pitch and grounding one slowly to second. Wright is up with it, double clutches the throw. Gonzalez, a nice stretch at first to secure the out. A run does score from 3rd. Silver Spring chipping away at 7-4.
Yeah, and Wright might have had a chance to go to second, but it would have needed to be absolutely perfect from both him and Martinez to actually turn to there. And that throw, that dart to second base would have been so difficult. You run the risk of allowing a couple runs to score with an error.
With a 4-run lead, definitely the correct decision to go to first with that one.
Yeah, just gets the out, gets the second out. Now you're facing the 8-hole hitter with Brashear, who's calmed down his last 2 batters.
Bryce Curry has a 1-0 count. He cuts and misses at a high fastball.
And after that second walk in this inning, Brashear has looked a bit freer and easier on the mound, a bit looser. I think he just took a big breath, and now he's filling it up.
Down and away, 2-1 the count on Curry. A junior from Hofstra, the Hofstra Pride. He hails from Gaithersburg, Maryland. 2-1 from Brashear. Swinging a ground ball over to third. Panette lets it go through his legs. 1 run is in. Holding at third is Foster. Another unearned run will cross. And it's 7-5.
And that's just a 5-hole. Stayed down on the third baseman, Panette. Tried to come up and throw before he really had it. And I really need Brashear to not worry about that. It's easy to let that sort of play get in your head as a pitcher, but Brashear needs to know he just did his job, zero back in, do it all over again, and know that Panette and co. will have your back.
Matthew Kim now steps in, representing the go-ahead run. This game is only 7 innings, so top of the 5th, more like top of the 7th if this was a 9-inning game. This is a pressure spot. Runners on the corners and 2 out for Kim, who was grounded out and walked today. He flails at a breaking ball down in the zone.
The spinner has been working now for Brashear. He's been going to it in a whole lot of counts. He's been putting it right there, low and away to righties.
Brashear kicks and deals. Kim takes a slider down and away. And you really don't want this lineup to flip over back to Josh Erb. Kim was able to draw a walk with 2 outs in his last at-bat to load the bases. And then Erb punched a single to left that scored 2 runs. Don't want history to repeat itself here. Only 1 inning later, Kim swings and misses. 2-2 the count on the Thunderbolts second baseman. Foster, the runner at third. Curry, the runner at first. Tyler Brashear trying to keep the lead at 2 for Bethesda. 2-2. Kim grounds one slowly up the middle. Martinez giving chase. Gloves it. Backhand flip to right. A beautiful play to get the force out at second. So no more runs will cross for Silver Spring when they've chipped back into the lead. It'll be 7-5 as we head to the bottom half of the 5th. The Bethesda Big Train currently protecting a 2-run lead in the bottom half of the 5th. New pitcher to tell you about on the mound for Silver Spring will be Brady Grimes. He is a junior right-hander out of Millersville University. Hails from Carlisle, Pennsylvania. Has thrown 2 innings, struck out 5. Has an ERA of 4.5. Liam Bowen's day is done after just 1 inning. He allowed 2 hits, 3 runs, all of them earned. Walked 3 and struck out 1. First pitch from Grimes to the leadoff man, Emilio Gonzalez, is fouled straight back. So to end the last inning for the Big Train, Peyton Steele hit the catcher Thomas when Panette was trying to steal second. We had a little bit of a talk during the break, and that is an out charge to the batter. Gonzalez pops one into left. Easy catch out there for Quadros. But that is why Steele wasn't up to lead off that inning, and it was Gonzalez.
Gonzalez also just missed that one. I mean, going the other way with a pitch at the top of the zone. He's a little upset with himself. He saw that pitch well, it seemed, and just didn't get enough of the barrel on it.
Skoronsky now steps in. He flew out to left in his first at-bat, walked. Later came around to score in his second at-bat. He swings and misses at a 1-0 changeup. 7 runs on 7 hits, 2 errors for the Big Train. For Silver Spring, 5 runs on just 2 hits. They've committed 1 error in the field. Yeah, a lot of walks and 2 costly errors for the big train have helped Silver Spring get to that 5-run mark with only the 2 hits. Skowronski ahead in the count 2-1. He takes a fastball on the outer half for strike 2.
He'd really just like to keep adding. Not exactly the game we were expecting a bit of a lower scoring affair between these two teams, but got to keep adding now.
You had the feeling that this game could have gone one of 2 ways, either a high-scoring game for both sides or a low-scoring game for both sides.
Just the one thing you didn't expect, and what we haven't gotten is a blowout.
No, not with 2 teams that are tied at the top of the North Division through 9 games. Popped up softly on the infield. Coming in with a dive is Braden Foster, the full extension for the out. You don't see too many first basemen making a play like that, Jackson.
And yeah, it's a tough play because Skowronski hits it off the handle of his bat, might have broken it, and it just hangs up in the air right into a little Bermuda triangle between pitcher, first baseman, and second baseman. And Foster had the best line at it and makes a nice play to avoid what would have been a fortunate single for Skowronski.
I dare say that play is Keith Hernandez-esque. Line drive caught by Kim. So Brett Ott pops up to the second baseman. 1-2-3 for the big train. They will look to protect a 2-run lead with only 2 innings to go here from Shirley Povich Field in game number 1. New pitcher on the mound for the big train will be Tanner Kaler out of the University of Charlotte. The lefty has thrown 2 1/3 innings this year. 2 hits, no runs allowed. He also pitched 2 innings in a game that's currently suspended against the Southern Maryland Senators. That game got rained out in the 3rd inning. It will be picked up at a later date, but Kaler threw 2+ innings, gave up 1 run, but not yet charged to his line. So at the moment, he's yet to give up an earned run, Jackson.
Yeah, despite giving up an earned run, his ERA is 0, but he's looked very solid every time he stepped out there.
He will deal to the top of the Silver Spring lineup, Erd, Driscoll, and Thomas. Erd in his last at-bat, a huge 2 RBI single that made this a 1-run game. The big train has since put across a few more runs. It's been back and forth all day, but Silver Spring has never led in this game. It's 7-5 as we work into the top half of the 6th.
They've only picked up 2 hits against big train pitching. It's been the walk and hit by pitch that's undone them when they have given up runs.
And a duo of errors have not helped either. 1-1 to Josh Erd, misses inside.
Yeah, you're absolutely right there, Quincy. 2 of the runs allowed have been unearned.
2-1. Kaler, the lefty, comes set. Fastball misses way outside. Already 7 walks in this game for the Big Train pitching staff, and Kaler in danger of allowing number 8.
I mean, this T-Bolts lineup has not been finding barrels when the ball's been in the zone. Big Train pitching just has to pump it in there.
3-1, and Erd takes what he thought was a fastball outside, but our plate umpire Michael Schmar called that a strike, and he's been giving a lot on the edges, I feel like. I think if it's borderline, most of the time today it's been a strike. A payoff. Same spot, same result, strike 3 called.
Yeah, and Josh Erd, not a man who goes down easily, doesn't strike out very often, but Kaler, 2 good spots in a row and able to get him looking.
Silver Spring dugout not too pleased with those 2 outside strike calls. So now Aiden Driscoll will step in with nobody on and 1 out in a lefty-lefty matchup against Kaler. Takes the first pitch and the dirt gets away from Murphy. I'll tell you this, I don't envy our catchers in this game, Jackson.
Oh, absolutely not. This is one that can get real long. I'm sure they're grateful it's just 7 innings, and I'm sure Murphy's grateful that Hawk will probably be doing the catching in game 2.
That ball runs inside and hits Driscoll in the back. Slider just slipped out of the hand of Kaler. We've seen that multiple times with pitchers dealing with this heat. More sweat on the hands. It's tougher to grip the ball. You were definitely right about that in the open, Jackson. The very hot, scorching weather has favored the hitters a lot more than the pitchers today.
But when it comes to catching, J.J. Hand has reported he's here right now. He's on the lineup card. You could see him in game 2 if you want to give Hawk a bit of an extra breather. Hand also a catcher.
Line drive into center field off the bat of Steve Thomas, and it lands in front of Peltier for a single. The Big Train, 2 one-out base runners they've now allowed, and Silver Spring, with only their 3rd hit of the game, they bring the go-ahead run to the plate with Jack McCarthy.
Just got to hold him. And you need Kaler here to find the groove that he had in Silver Spring in his first appearance of the year. Keep a 0 on the board in this top of the 6th.
Kaler earned a hold in that first matchup against Silver Spring. McCarthy has grounded out to first and walked twice today. He's been seeing the ball well and takes way outside from Kaler. And a lot of these pitches have not been very competitive misses, Jackson. A lot of stuff missing way outside the zone to start off for Kaler.
Yeah, has been missing arm side, just not finishing the pitches so far. You can get back in here.
1-0 to McCarthy. Again, misses way outside to the arm side.
And that's a sign of a guy who's just not getting all the way down the mound. That's something that can happen when it's hot out. You can just feel your arm drag a little bit sometimes and doesn't whip through like you're used to, and you leave it out to that arm side.
2-0. McCarthy takes outside again. I'd imagine he has the red light here. Maybe taking until he sees 2 strikes.
Yeah, you might do so. I mean, 7 walks by the Big Train pitching staff as a whole.
3-0 from Kaler. This time he pulls it too far inside. McCarthy has the walk, and the go-ahead run is now on first base. The tying run now on second base, and this is the last guy you want coming up to the plate today, Braden Foster. A double and 2 walks for him today.
Yeah, the switch-hitting first baseman has looked good so far today. Product of Youngstown State University.
Go Penguins.
Was hitless with the Penguins this year, but got a hit today. 2 walks as well. I mean, he's looking pretty solid at the plate.
And he was struggling coming into this game, only a 143 average, but he's been seeing the ball well, a 455 on base. You'll take the 455 on base, Your average could be 0. You'll take a 455 on base. But the hits have been coming for him as well as the 2 walks. 1,000 on base percentage today. And he has a chance to tie this game up or potentially take the lead for Silver Spring. Bases loaded, only 1 out.
Here, soft ground ball or pop-up would be like water in the Sahara to the big train.
Fastball outside. Panette is playing back at third. Gonzalez playing on the grass at first. I think their mindset is Foster's been pulling a lot of things today. So if he hits one to third, it's most likely going to be hard. If it's hit to first, most likely soft. Slider misses down and away.
And Kaler, we have not seen this from him in his outings. When he struggled, he really hasn't struggled. And the times that runners have been on bases from hits, he hasn't walked guys like this.
2-0. Runs one inside. Appeal to first. And no swing, says the first base umpire, Carl Ramelia. And now we got time call. I think he did put his fist up, called a strike, and now the Silver Spring manager's out of the dugout.
He appealed to the umpire at second base instead of the one at first.
The umpire at second base doesn't have a better vantage point than the plate umpire. It's for an appeal there.
The umpire at second put the fist up for a strike call. Now the umpire's gathering together.
There's been a lot of appeals in this game. This is maybe the 3rd or 4th time we've seen these 3 get together. And they are going to call it a strike.
And all the deliberation has not resulted in a change yet from any of these umpires.
And that's a big call, though, because 3-0 with the bases loaded, you're almost sitting at almost a guaranteed run. 2-1, a lot different. There's a matrix out there somewhere where it shows every hitter's batting average and with whatever the count is, and 3-0 is by far the best. 2-1 still a hitter's count, but not one pitch away from a run scoring.
Yeah, now you can play a little on the margins.
2-1, a fastball taken up in the zone for a strike. And now Foster has 2 strikes on him. A strikeout would be massive, especially to get to 2 outs. Kaler peers in. Into the windup, 2-2, misses outside. Full count now on Foster.
Absolutely nowhere to put him with the bases loaded. Kaler has to come in with this pitch. Can't get too fine. You'd rather give up a hit here than a walk. You just don't want this inning to continue. Have to risk giving up contact.
Payoff with the bases loaded. Called strike 3, a beautiful pitch by Kaler. Catches the low inside corner. And Foster is down looking.
And that's exactly what you needed. Just a fastball bearing in at the knees. Without a doubt, a strike. Great pitch by Kaler. And Quadros, he's 0 for 3 on the day. A guy you'd rather be facing.
Struck out in his last at-bat. He grounds one slowly towards second, right, fields it, throws on to first in time. No runs in the inning for Silver Spring. A great job of damage control from Tanner Kaler as we head to the bottom of the 6th. Big Train still up by 2. Big Train still protecting a 2-run lead as we head to the bottom half of the 6th, and they will look for insurance. It'll be 9-1-2 to start the inning. Dylan Murphy, Alex Peltier, and Brennan Wright. Myself, Quincy Bell, alongside me, Jackson Corcoran, Gibson Hurt on the production here for game number 1 of a doubleheader. Both these games will be 7 innings. Jackson, we've had a fun one so far.
An odd one at the very least. I mean, errors, walks have abounded. I mean, back and forth game. No one's been able to get the real edge.
Dylan Murphy has came around to score in both of his at-bats. He reached on a fielder's choice and a single, and we just got a warning from Michael Schmar to the Silver Spring dugout. The Thunderbolts unhappy about some calls that were made in the last half inning and still making some noise about it as Murphy takes down and away for ball 2. (2-0) on the FAU catcher. Brady Grimes into the windup, delivers, popped up foul into the net.
Brady Grimes through the only clean inning of the day for Silver Spring last frame. See if he can get back with Murphy here.
2-0. Slider catches just beneath the letters, and Murphy has himself in a 2-strike count. Grimes working very quickly. He's already back into the windup and delivers a changeup in the dirt. Appeal to first, no swing. So Murphy, 1 ball away from a leadoff walk. The lineup will flip over to the top after him. Peltier, 3 hits today, a double and 2 singles. Grimes into the windup, payoff pitch. Taken just high, and I guess that was ball 4. Our umpire, I think, thought that was ball 3, but Murphy is on with a leadoff walk.
Yeah, he's reached all 3 times, and as you mentioned, Alex Peltier also reached all 3 times, having a heck of a game. Single, line drive, double, 3 RBI, a run, 3 stolen bases. I mean, this is a leadoff hitter clinic from Peltier.
Came into this game with a 387 average. That might be up over 400 now. Fastball taken high for ball 1.
He's been a big part of this 5-game winning streak the Big Train are on. That's longer than any regular season winning streak since June 2023.
1-0. Peltier lays down a bunt, and it's a good one. Right back to the mound. Grimes throws to first, and this ball gets up the line and near the Silver Spring dugout. Murphy's headed around third. He gets the stop sign. Peltier up to second on the air.
And I think he's safe even if that ball's caught. I think that should be single and error for Peltier, which that bunt headed right back towards Grimes. I mean, just pure hustle and speed from Peltier to force the misthrow. And now it's second and third. I mean, speed never slumps, and that's exactly why.
The infield is in for Silver Spring. It's paramount for them that they do not allow another run and make their 7th inning comeback effort more difficult. Brennan Wright pops one up in the air. Shallow left center. Ruiz comes in on it. He makes the catch. Runner's going to tag. The throw will come to third. Murphy will score for the 3rd time today, and Bethesda now up by 3 again. It's 8-5.
Sacrifice flies. That's been something that the Big Train have done so well. I mean, you have a guy on third, less than 2 outs. The goal is, I mean, you go through, batting practice as a high school and collegiate hitter, and you'll have rounds where your goal is, all right, it's a less than 2 outs runner on third. Your goal here is find a ball you can elevate, get it to the outfield, and drive him in with a sac fly. And the Big Train have done that 12 times this year, easily the best in the Cal Ripken League.
John Martinez takes for a strike. Martinez a strikeout and 2 walks today. Peltier with another strong leadoff of second. He has 3 stolen bases already today. We'll see if he thinks about number 4. Martinez takes a fastball up. Grimes into his second inning of work. Had a 1-2-3 fifth for his first inning. And the winner of this game will take sole possession of first place in the Northern Division, but they'll have to protect it as we have another game right after this one.
The adage goes when it comes to doubleheaders, good teams sweep and great teams split. I mean, that doesn't mean literally great teams go 1-1 in doubleheaders. It means that when you lose game one, you're able to battle back and earn yourself a split. And if the loser of game one can do that, it's going to be huge for them.
Martinez checks the swing, down and away, takes the ball. It's 2-2. Both these teams sit at 6-3. The only crop dusters are a game and a half back at 6-6. The Gaithersburg Giants bringing up the rear at 2-9 so far in this season. So a 4-game gap between third and fourth place. The top three teams of the division will make the playoffs, but the division winner does not have to play in the wild card game. Popped up in the air, deep towards left center field. Going back is Ruiz. He makes the catch. Peltier's going to tag for third. The throw will come there, and Peltier is in with a head-first slide safely.
I mean, that's a lovely throw from Ruiz. Did a good job with that. Got behind the baseball and was set to throw as soon as he caught it. But Peltier, I mean, one of the only guys on this roster that can make that advance.
We'll give you the standings from the Southern Division. It's been the Southern Maryland Senators who have been torching the league. They lost on opening day. Since then, 8 straight. They're 8-1. The DC Grays follow at 5-4. The Alexandria Aces sit at 3-6, and the Metro Soco Braves at 3-7.
Yeah, it's an intriguing run. 3 of the next 4 games, including this, yes, 3 of the next 4, including this one, are between division leaders Silver Spring, this doubleheader, and then Southern Maryland on Monday for the big train.
0-1-2 Panett misses outside. And I'm sure the crop dusters are licking their chops at the thought of both these teams playing twice, because if one of these teams were to win both games, a crop dusters win today would put them ahead and into second place. Panett powers one high in the air, deep towards left field. Back at the track is Corrados, and he makes the catch just feet away from his 4th home run was Panett. But we'll head to the top half of the 7th. Big Train 3 outs away from leading the division. Tanner Kaler on for his 2nd inning of work, trying to complete a 2-inning save as we work into the top of the 7th, the last inning in the first game of today's doubleheader. Kaler delivers a fastball way inside to Gabe Ruiz.
Kaler did a fantastic job working out of trouble last inning. A strikeout looking of Foster, and then a soft ground ball induced from Quadros, trying to deal with a little less trouble this go-round.
Ruiz chops one foul. It's 7, 8, and 9 to start this inning for Silver Spring. They're going to look to flip this lineup back to the top with some runners on. The top of the lineup for Silver Spring has been strong today. Kaler kicks and fires the 1-1. Changeup misses outside.
Kaler has a hit by pitch and a walk allowed in this game, but the bottom 3 of this T-Bolts order has been pretty desolate so far today. 0 for 8 with a walk.
Popped up high in the air towards right field. Skaronski ranges over towards the line. He lost it for a second in the sun, but able to recollect his feet and make the off-balance catch for the first out.
They don't ask how, they ask how many. It wasn't the prettiest play by Skaronski, but does a good job adjusting at the last moment to get a glove to it. And a big first out.
Bryce Curry now steps in from the right side. He's 0 for 3 today with a strikeout, a ground out, and a reached on air. Kaler kicks and delivers, ground ball foul towards the Big Train dugout.
And here's a stat for you. In the first 6 innings, 4 times the Big Train retired the first batter, 2 times they didn't. 0 runs allowed when they got the leadoff guy, and 5 conceded when the first one reached base.
It's been a lot of damage with 2 outs for the Thunderbolts. 0-1, slider catches the back door for strike 2.
And that's a backdoor breaker like you read about. Just a beautiful pitch from Kaler in that count, too. Curry never looking for a pitch in that spot.
0-2, Kaler set, kicks, fires, swing, and a miss. Strike 3, dropped the door out from under him with a 77-mile-an-hour changeup, Jackson. That was a thing of beauty.
Yeah, back-to-back breaking pitches, really good from Kaler. First one goes backdoor, and then he starts it in a very similar spot. I mean, almost tunneling the curveball off itself, and that one dove below the zone and got a wave and a miss from Curry.
It'll be up to Matthew Kim to extend this game. He takes a changeup low. Kim 0 for 2 with a walk today. Kaler set, kicks, deals. Grounded slowly towards third. Panette fields it on a hop. Fires across the diamond in time. The Big Train now winners of 6 in a row, and they have the outright division lead by 1 game, and they'll look to protect it in about 30 minutes for game number 2 against Silver Spring. Final score from game number 1, Big Train 8 runs on 8 hits, 2 errors. For Silver Spring, 5 runs on 3 hits. They also committed 2 errors. Jackson, a complete performance from the Big Train today. They never trailed in this game, but they had to battle against a tough, scrappy Silver Spring team.
Yeah, really impressive work on the hitting end from the Big Train. Didn't get the perfect performance from pitchers. I mean, 2 big innings in the 4th and 5th, but good job around that to keep the T-Bolts bats mostly quiet. And the hitting, I mean, very impressive. 8 hits in 7 innings. Alex Peltier, boy, oh boy, what a day at the top of the lineup. Dylan Murphy, fantastic work at the bottom, scoring 3 runs. Peltier driving in 3, going 4 for 4. I mean, when the bookends of your lineup are working like that, it's tough to beat you.
This 7-inning game took 2 hours and 22 minutes to complete. The winning pitcher will be Tyler Brashear. The save will go to Tanner Kaler, and the loss will go to Liam Bowman. Final score, 8-5. The Big Train win. We will be back shortly for game number 2. It will be myself and Eliab Brooks-Rubin with the primary play-by-play. We thank you, and we hope to see you back shortly.
This